This kid's on crack.
Yeah.
What is up, YouTube? Today we're gonna hook the scan tool up to the old 2001 Suburban over here and see if we can figure out what this miss is about. So, not a lot of rambling. Let's just get to it in this one. Let's go. Like a pro, you probably cannot see what's on that screen. I should have brought my dang glasses. I can't read. Can y'all read that? Help me figure out what the. I can't even read it. Come on, baby. Fired right up the other day. There she goes. She got a little mess, boys. Never had that much trouble cranking it. Engine misfire detected. Now we're on something here. But it just says engine misfire detected. Doesn't tell me like anything about it. I mean, normally it's like misfire on bank 2 so-and-so. I know it's a misfire detected. I mean, hell, my damn ear can hear that. Misfire detected. Thanks. Well, it did give me a code, PO300. So I guess I could look that up. Let's see what the fuck that is. Well, basically what I read is that you got to throw parts at it. This little thing right here worked good on Harrison's Jeep and my Jeep. I got new tires put on my Jeep, and I think they broke one of my ABS sensors on the front right or whatever. But anyway, it said, when I hooked it up to this, it was said that there was a problem with the front right speed sensor. But this, for some reason, is not really giving me a lot of information. And I looked up the code on the internet, and it's just a bunch of people saying that they've replaced all the common things. The coil pack, spark plugs, camshaft sensors, freaking every damn sensor on the daggum thing, O2 sensors. You know, this guy's like, I did all this and it still has a misfire. Sounds like we're going to have to throw parts at it. I think first what I would like to do, it needs an oil change. I know that. I don't really want to spend money on it if I can't get it running properly. So like first thing to do is to get it running good. So I guess what we're going to do is I should let it idle and pull plug wires off each cylinder and see if I could isolate it that way. So let's freaking do that. It's never had that much trouble starting. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to unplug the power wires from each coil pack and see if I can diagnose it that way. So let's try that. Oh, and then also by doing that, it'll help me like know that I've like checked, unplugged and replugged the power to the coil pack, and then I'll know that that connection has been checked. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Not on that side. Not that one. Alright, not that one. Not that one. Uh-oh. Did we find it? I believe I did. Well, you know, it'd be the last one out of all the ones I tried. Can we check the voltage on that? I'm not really like if I stop and think for a minute, you know, I can kind of figure this shit out, but I'm not like the brightest auto mechanic on the planet, but I do, you know, fix my own shit. I might get a multimeter out here and see if I can maybe check and make sure that there is a signal going to that plug, and then I'll know that the computer is telling that coil to fire, and then that'll help me like isolate it's either that coil pack or it's that spark plug. or something in the valve train, or damn piston non-existent, or I don't know. I don't know how good that video is going to be because the camera is sitting on the motor and it's shaking like crazy. It looks like it's about to fall over. I don't know what we're going to do about a damn tripod. Ha! There we go. I got the camera on the ladder out there. Check it out. Huh? Yeah. Doing whatever it takes to make a video for you folks. You hadn't hit the daggone like button. Do it for being a certified redneck engineer at least. I have no idea how to check the voltage going to a coil. No idea. I'm sure it's sending a pulse signal, and I got a digital meter, and I don't know how I'm going to read it. Looks to me like it's getting a signal. I don't really know. I'm checking. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a wire off of the one next to it. And it'll be running on 6 cylinders. And I'm going to check and see if I'm getting the same thing on this one. Am I right about that signal? Yeah, it's getting a signal. So it's either the coil pack or the spark plug or something in the valve train. That's all it can be. Let's try revving it up and seeing if that fixes it. Yeah, that didn't fix it. But I could definitely hear the flutter. I could definitely hear that. I'd be willing to go buy a set of spark plugs and wires for it, and maybe some oil to change the oil. Maybe check some other things, some fluids, top some things off. I'd be willing to spend a little bit on that without knowing for sure that it's a spark plug or a wire. Could still be the coil. Could still be other things. Could be a lot of stuff. Probably an old school Chevrolet guy out there just laughing it up, ain't you, buddy? Just laugh it up, buddy. You had to learn somehow. I'm doing it too, you know. Can't all be Chevrolet technicians. That same guy's probably gonna be giving me hate when I put a damn lift kit on this two-wheel drive. Oh dang, we done got off on a ramble. Here we go. What I would love to do, nothing more, is to put airbags and, you know, make a little pimp wagon out of it. Give me some like 22s, you know, do a body drop, like Suburban laying on the ground. What do they call that? Laying frame? Suburban laying frame. I'd love to do that. But this stupid thing has those torsion bar front end on it. It don't have coil springs or leaf springs in the front, something easy to like alter. No, it's got daggone torsion bars. So all this thing is missing is a front differential, some axles, and a transfer case. And it could be easily converted into four-wheel drive. But that's not what my plan is. I just want to put a lift on it, you know, so it looks cool. And not a big lift. I mean, I'm probably going to go with 35s, you know, and that's modest around here. So yeah, let's see what tomorrow holds. Tomorrow we'll go get some stuff for the Suburban, and we'll continue that in this video. Well, YouTube, we're back out here at it on the Suburban. If you can't hear me over the fan, suck it up, Buttercup, because it's hot as hell out here. But I need to get her done. I went to the store and I got myself some AC Delco spark plug wires. Got me some double platinum spark plugs, AC Delco, all original. Pre-gapped, but I got me a little gap checker just to check, and some anti-seize lubricant for the spark plug wires, so they'll be easy to get off when I put my daggone turbocharger on here and change out. Yeah, we ain't doing none of that. And some anti-seize. Oh wait, I got it backwards. Dielectric grease for the spark plug boot, and some anti-seize for the spark plugs. You should always use anti-seize when you're putting metal into aluminum. So. I can't really decide if I want to like film the whole process of so I think for the sake of this video, and as long as it is already, maybe we just cut to where to where I've got it done, and I can just knock it out, and I don't really have to video the whole process. You know, if you want to learn how to do that stuff, look it up, search changing the spark plugs on an 01 Suburban. This is a prime example of why I can never get anything done around here. The new plug wires doesn't come with the little metal heat shield on it, right? So you have to reuse those. But my OCD takes over, and I have to get some Scotch-Brite out, you know, and that's why I can't get nothing done. I spend half my time OCDing about shit. And what I guarantee you, I'm going to fix this thing up, get it running good, and I'm going to park it right back over there, and it's going to sit there for another 2 years. But it's part of it. Welcome to the life of tag. Well, YouTube got the spark plugs and new wires put in there. Let's see here if I can give you guys a little shot of that. Shined up the little metal heat sinks on them, you know. Got all them new plugs and wires on that side. New plugs and wires over here on this side. But while I was putting them in, actually I was at the last one. I started and I come around over here, and this was the last one that I did. While I was doing that, I got to thinking about Mr. Smarty Pants down there in the comment section. Yeah. I could hear him. He was like, hey man, you know that it could be like an injector too. It could not be spark related. It could be the injector's not firing on that cylinder, and it's the same thing. Like if you unplug the coil, you don't know the difference. You know what, man? We do not need your negativity over here on the TAC FPV YouTube channel. We don't need that. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna try this baby out. Are y'all ready? I hope she runs a little better. Definitely the cranking thing is not been fixed. Damn it. I still hear it. I still feel it. This sucks. It does sound a little better though. But it's still got a little blah 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 blah. Bit like them old cars. Can you peck on it? Can you peck on it like the starter? Make it work? So, well, I'm gonna have to look into how to unplug the stupid injector. Oh, I can't see the plug and can't hold the damn camera. Do it all at the same time. My ladder tripod seems to be working out great. Okay, so I figured that plug out. A whole lot less complicated than I thought. Oh, it almost cranked. The battery's dead. Okay, so now I gotta put a damn battery in this piece of shit. I just put this battery in it. It might actually still be under warranty. Okay, so I figured the plug out. A whole lot less complicated than I thought it was gonna be, but what I need is a good old-fashioned test light to see if the computer's sending signal to the fuel injector. I don't have one, but what I do have is an old incandescent bulb from when I put new LEDs in the back of the gull wing there, and I got my little terminals bent there, and I'm gonna try to stick it in the plug, see if I can see if a signal is coming to that fuel injector. I'm not a damn mechanic, but I can definitely like hack away at stuff, you know. I feel like that bulb should like light up. Maybe I should check the bulb. Let me double check the bulb. I could have swore the light bulb thing would have worked because it's just a pulse signal, you know, like on off. It may be too fast to light up the filament on the incandescent bulb. It may, I don't know, like I got to figure out. I'm going here and I'm gonna do a little Google-foo and see if I can figure out how to check to see if I'm getting a signal, if I'm getting a pulse at a fuel injector. see about how to do that. I really don't want to like think about how to do it. I'd rather just Google it. Fuel injector not pulsing. So most likely is that the fuel injectors are probably not opening. The PCM uses the trigger signal from the camshaft position sensor and or crankshaft position sensor to pulse the injectors. Okay. What I don't understand is if it is the camshaft position sensor or the crankshaft position sensor, why are the other 7 firing and just one of them isn't? Is that normal? How do you check a fuel injector pulse? Unplug the electrical connection from the fuel injector you want to test. Turn the ignition switch to the on position. Touch the terminals one at a time of the harness connector with the test light. One of the terminals should make the test light glow. This is the injector power source coming from the computer. So let's try that. What I need to do is I need to make my test light that I rigged up into an actual test light. So lucky for me, I have a awesome little drone space over here that I have created for building drones and FPV equipment, and I have all the tools that it takes to make a test light. So I shall do that after I move all my empty beer cans. You know what? I changed my mind. I found a daggone little piece of wire with 2 alligator clips on it. I'm just going to alligator clip to one of them. That's my ground, and then I got a plug to stick on the other side. I'm not going to waste time making. I was going to do that, but we're running out of daggum. I just want this stupid thing to run right so I can move on to something else. At least it runs. I mean, you know, we gotta count our blessings here. You know, it just could not run at all. So at least I could drive it like this. I don't want to. You know, fuel economy probably suck. All right, we got our ignition set to on. I'm going to check one that I know works first. I would pick the smallest alligator clip in the world. All right. So one at a time. Ooh, my light lit up. See, I knew I was doing something. See, we got power on that one. That's what we want. We want power on that one. All right, here's the problem child right here. Let's see if we got any light on that sucker. Ooh, it lights up. So what does that mean? What does that mean? That means that injector is definitely getting power. But how do I tell if it's getting a pulse signal? Ow! Freaking motor is hot! I mean, do we go with, oh, maybe it's a stuck injector? A clogged injector? It's never had that much trouble cranking up. Well, I really don't want to turn this into a 2-part video, so we're just going to have to, it's going to be a 3-dayer or something because it's late in the day on a Sunday evening, and I just don't, I got a whole lot of stuff I got to do to get ready for work next week. So I will try to get an injector maybe on the way home or something tomorrow, and we'll work on it tomorrow. So it'll be a 3-day, try to keep this a 1-part on the misfire diagnosis. So I would say help me out in the comments, but hopefully I'll have this thing figured out before we post this video. I don't know. So, yeah. Cut to tomorrow. Well, YouTube, it is now 1 week and $120 later. This project has turned into a financial freaking disaster. And it's like a week later, and I don't know what I recorded, what all I've done. I haven't edited this video. I don't know, but anyway, I'm gonna throw this fuel injector in this thing. Hope for the best on this. I've already did the little thing where you run the motor and pull the relay out of the fuel pump, and so now I'm gonna get my tools out here. I'm gonna try to throw this thing in right quick And if this doesn't fix it, I'm going to inspect the wiring harness around into the computer. And if the wiring harness looks good, then I'm probably going to set this thing on fire, because there's much money that I've spent just trying to get rid of this little mist that this thing has. Probably could have bought a whole nother vehicle. Maybe not. But anyway, here we go. Day 3. It was not easy as I thought it was going to be, but I got the old fuel injector out, and I mean, it looks pretty dirty, but I can't really tell because when I was trying to get it out, I was like cramming it around on the intake and mashing it in dirt, so I don't really know. And I can't see inside of it. I think that has a little filter inside. I don't know. I probably could have had this fixed or something. I don't know. This video is turning into a video of why you should pay a mechanic to do this kind of stuff. This is why I can't get nothing done, because I thought that this clip fell all the way down to the ground, and I spent 40 minutes looking for it and sweeping out from under the Suburban. Then I spent another 20 minutes looking for my magnet on a stick, just to discover that it was just laying right there the whole time. Prime the fuel pump one more time. This thing stinks. The windshield leaks. I'm thinking about just taking the carpet completely out of it and just doing like a, because this thing smells so bad, like mold and mildew from the windshield. But I'm thinking about just tearing all the carpet out and just rhino lining or you know, like DIY bed liner in the inside of it. I'm wanting to make a work truck out of this thing. I've already said that. I'm gonna go ahead and get the doors opened up and get this thing airing out a little bit. Whew, she's ripe in there. Problem be solved if I pulled the daggum carpet out or fix the windshield leak, but ain't nobody got time for that. Prime that pump one more time. Bet it won't start. Yeah, we're gonna have to put it on boost. So let's put the battery charger on boost and fire this bitch up, see what happens. See if she runs any better. Got her on boost. Hold on, there's a loud car going by. Took it a minute to get all the fuels to the... Oh, yeah. Already tell a difference. Yay, I got it. I fixed it. It just took a whole lot of money that I shouldn't have spent. Live and learn. Yeah, she's sounding good now. Yeah. Running on all 8, fellas. Hell yeah. That's definitely gonna do it for this video. This video, I have no idea how long this has been. But yeah, now that it runs decent, I can go ahead and I'll spend a little money on her. I'm gonna change the oil. It needs tires. Before you go, guys, right quick, let me ramble a little bit about something. The Suburban severely needs tires. But the reason why I don't want to buy tires for the Suburban right now is because I want to alter the suspension in some way and pretty much put a whole new different set of wheels and tires on it. But and the tires and wheels that I want to put on it are considerably bigger, so I need to raise it. So I mean, I guess that makes sense. Like, I don't want to buy like even like a used set of tires because I feel like I'm just throwing that money away. And the battery that's in it is brand new. I put that battery in there and then just parked it. It's just been sitting. So I really don't want to buy a new battery because I'm afraid it's going to sit a little bit longer. But I do need to change the oil because the oil hasn't been needed to be changed in it for a long time. And I'm pretty sure that what's in it is not even motor oil anymore. But I do have a bottle of fuel injection cleaner. I'm going to take it down the street, put some gas in it, put that fuel injection cleaner in it, maybe cruise it around a little bit, see how well she drives, see if the transmission's going to act right or whatever. Anyway, that's enough rambling in this video. Appreciate you guys for sticking around and hanging out while I cuss and throw things and bust my knuckles and get the old Suburban running good. But I feel pretty good about it. I'm glad that she's running good. It run fine until it just sat. And I went to park it up one day. I went to crank it one day and it just had a miss. I'm like, well, that sucks. But I believe we got that problem took care of. So I think in the next video about the Suburban, I'm not going to bother y'all with like changing the oil and all that kind of stuff. But I am really serious about pulling the interior out of it, getting rid of that carpet, laying in some just rolling in some bed liner of some sort, getting some rubber floor mats, and yeah. So yeah, I may video that process. I'm saving up a little money to get my lift, and then once I do that, then we'll put wheels and tires on it and start driving it, and maybe dig the old trailer out. Not going to happen very fast. These old tires may have enough life to make it to the dump, because that's really all I got to do. I really just need to get my trailer and haul that junk off to the dump. My trailer has been sitting right there for a long time. I can't even guess. It's been so long that trailer's been sitting there. You probably go back to some of my old front porch ripping videos and see that the trailer, it was sitting right there. And I got so much crap that I want to throw away around here. I'm trying to clean up. I think I said earlier I want to add to the shed, and I need this for going and getting some building materials, because I can't really use the company truck for that kind of stuff. The trailer for like hauling stuff off and getting some of the larger material that's longer than 8 foot. Yeah. So, whew, boy, rambled in this one enough. See you guys in the next one. Bye.
Don't mess around with any old rambling